Tom Brady's drama in his own home with his kids. This is, I think a lot of people will say up front, this is a good problem to have. But Tom Brady and Giselle are obviously incredibly successful, and they have
wealthy,
very wealthy, and they didn't grow up that way.
Oh,
but
especially
now,
her,
especially Giselle in Brazil. But now they have their kids and
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes, exactly. So Tom was on the Drive podcast when they talked to him about how exactly you keep your kids grounded.
Which is a huge issue for rich folk.
Yeah.
And his answer is really interesting.
My wife grew up in rural, Brazil, and I grew up in I would say a middle-class family in California. I look at my life with my family, and it's so fast. I mean, it's just, we have people that clean for us. We have people that make our food. We have people that drive us to the airport if we need that. We get off a plane and there's people waiting there for us, and we get ushered in. And it's just, that's my kids' reality, which is the hard part to say, guys, this is not the way reality really is. There's a lot of things I'm still learning as a parent. I know that I've screwed up a lot of things. That's the reality of being a parent. But, you just hope you can show them enough things to realize that when they are doing things that are selected for mom and dad to make our lives more convenient, that is a treat. That is something that is not what every kid goes through. Probably one of the biggest challenges we have as parents.
So I was trying to figure out what he meant, but he's referring to having a chef, having personal chefs, having...
He talked about drivers to the airports, and they have private jets and everything else. And that really is an issue. I mean, look, we are, a lot of us live in the, west side of LA, and it's riddled with, families with tons of money where some of them, have kids where the nannies kind of raise them and the kids become brats. So it's an issue.
Yeah, you know what, Harv, and you, as you would expect, the reaction to this by a lot of people has been like, oh, boo-hoo, you've got too much money. But it's a real issue. It is. How do you keep these kids grounded and humbled? When your parent, dad alone has made something like $300 million playing football. Giselle was the highest paid model for like a decade plus. I mean, it's a real issue for them. You say it's a problem I'd like to have, but it is a genuine issue.
It's definitely a problem most people would like to have, and I do think it's commendable that they even think about it. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of really rich people who just say, look, this is how we live, and our kids are going to live this way, and they don't even think about how it affects the kids growing up. And at least they're thinking about it, how successful they are in keeping them grounded. I don't know, not in their house, but I do give them props for even trying.
We're going to have Damon on the show a little later.
Damon John.
And his co-star, Mark Cuban, did an episode of Objectified with me, and he spent a lot of time talking about this and about his worry about his kids. And he said this is a huge issue for him. And I think it's really commendable that parents with those means really think about something like this. So I have a question for you. If you had that kind of money as Tom Brady and Giselle, and you had kids, and you, say, took a commercial flight and you were flying first class, would you let your kids, say 12 years old, 13 years old, would you let them fly first, or would you put them in coach?
Coach, of course. Kids don't need to be in first class.
By the way, we talked about this morning, and Harvey, you said something that, to me, kind of, you tipped your hat a little bit when you said, when a kid turns 16, do you buy him a new car,
or do you buy him a new BMW?
Or how about you buy him no car? You get no car. You made it sound like everyone when they turn 16 gets a car. Did you get a car when you turned 16?
No.
I didn't get a car when I turned 16.
I used my parents' car.
I didn't get a car until I went to college.
I understand that. I mean, I use my parents' car, but I'm saying there are parents who do that, and sometimes it's for convenience. And I'm just, listen, there are parking lots at some of these private schools in LA that are crazy. I mean, with crazy new cars, and it's like a thing. So yeah, it's an issue. And
we're talking about stuff that most of America is.
Yeah, but it's a little peek in. I'm telling you, it is insane to see some of these private schools in LA with these parking lots.
Well, I'm Irfan Ghaffar in Vancouver, and when you look at Tom Brady and his situation right now, I mean, I commend him for coming out and saying it is tough being a child, and it is. I mean, you look at most professional athletes and their children, they'll never really know what it's like to be quote unquote normal. So when you look at it, I respect what he said, but I get the backlash that he's getting because of his decision to come out and talk like that.
But I don't see. I just want to say one quick thing.
It's a hard thing for him to talk, a hard topic for him to
It
even
shouldn't
address.
be. He has a. I mean, it's like he's not saying it's cancer because it's not.
Right.
But he's saying that it's an issue in child rearing, and you can also.
We've been talking a lot about how much people dislike billionaires.
Well, this is a good example.
It's the same thing.
But you scale it down, and it doesn't have to be somebody with that kind of money. It could be somebody with much less, but still the issue comes up. Like you just said, which is, do you get them any car?
Do you get them any car?
So, but no, but that's why this is a real relatable issue.
Yes.
Okay.
We made it relatable.
We did.
Because we had nothing growing up.
Right.